In 2015, Europe experienced an unprecedented influx of migrants, with over 1.8 million irregular border crossings into the EU, the highest number ever recorded. During that 1 year alone, Hungary recorded over 411,000 illegal border crossings. This influx, primarily driven by conflicts in Syria and Afghanistan, positioned Hungary as a significant entry point for migrants into Europe. Poland also experienced unprecedented pressures on its borders, social services, and national policies, setting the stage for its subsequent hardline approach to immigration.
So don't give us this rubbish about the need of educated immigration. We don't need your doctors, we don't need your engineers. Take them all and pay for them. We don't need them. You know why? Because there's zero terrorist attacks in Poland. Why? Because there is no illegal migration in Poland.
Hungary has long been an attractive destination for immigrants and asylum seekers due to its strategic location along the Western Balkan migratory route. This route, stretching from Greece through the Balkans and into Central Europe, has become a primary path for migrants seeking entry into the European Union. Hungary's position as an EU member state with external borders made it a key transit point for those hoping to reach Western European countries. Initially, Hungary's approach to immigration aligned with broader EU policies. However, the unprecedented influx of migrants in 2015 overwhelmed the country's resources and infrastructure. During this time, Hungary experienced an average of 274 daily arrivals. This number surged dramatically to over 7,000 daily in September and October 2015, highlighting the immense pressure on its border management systems. Faced with this escalating situation, Hungary took a decisive and controversial step. In late 2015, the government initiated the construction of fences along its southern borders with Serbia and Croatia. This massive infrastructure project effectively sealed off the country from the Western Balkan migratory route. The scale of this undertaking was significant, with a 175-kilometer-long razor wire fence erected to physically impede unauthorized border crossings. The impact of these physical barriers on Hungary's migration patterns was immediate and substantial. According to the Hungarian government, these measures have prevented over 1 million illegal border crossings since their implementation. This dramatic reduction in irregular entries reshaped the landscape of migration in the region, forcing new migrant routes to be developed that go around Hungary. However, Hungary's unilateral action did not stop at physical barriers. The government implemented a comprehensive strategy to deter illegal immigration. One key component was the establishment of transit zones at the border in 2015. These zones, although since shut down, became the only legal entry points for migrants wishing to apply for asylum in Hungary. Essentially, they were detention sites built from shipping containers located along the country's border where asylum seekers were automatically and indefinitely detained. Access to these areas was severely restricted, with only a handful of applicants allowed to enter daily, resulting in extended waiting times for asylum processing. In addition to physical and administrative measures, Hungary enacted legal changes to reinforce its hardline stance on immigration. The government criminalized unauthorized border crossings, imposing increased prison sentences of up to 10 years for those caught attempting to enter illegally. This legal framework was further strengthened by a series of amendments to asylum legislation that expedited the asylum determination process, while simultaneously limiting the rights of asylum seekers. The Hungarian government has consistently framed its stringent immigration policies as essential for national security. Officials have cited incidents of violence against border guards, with reports of migrants attacking patrols with stones and other weapons. Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has maintained a firm position, stating, "Hungary does not need a single migrant for the economy to work, or the population to sustain itself." This rhetoric reflects a broader nationalist agenda that prioritizes preserving Hungarian identity over accommodating migrants. While Hungary's hardline approach to immigration has drawn international attention, Poland's response to the crisis has been equally dramatic. Poland's strong economy and historical ties with neighboring countries have traditionally made it an attractive destination for immigrants, particularly for Ukrainians. looking to escape the war in their homeland. However, the Polish government has now taken a firm stance against immigration, with Prime Minister Donald Tusk emphatically stating that Poland will not accept a single migrant under the EU relocation scheme. This hardline position stems from a significant increase in illegal border crossings, particularly from Belarus. In 2021 alone, there were over 40,000 attempts to cross into Poland illegally. And since 2021, Polish border guards have stopped nearly 100,000 attempts by migrants to illegally cross into Poland from Belarus. The Polish government believes this situation is a hybrid war instigated by Belarus, accusing the regime of coordinating, together with Russia, the sudden influx of immigrants as a tool against Poland and the European Union. Statistics from the 3 states neighboring Belarus show border guards have stopped some 150,000 illegal crossing attempts by migrants over this period. In response to this perceived threat, Poland has implemented a comprehensive strategy to fortify its borders and deter illegal immigration. It has constructed a 186-kilometer-long wall along the Belarus border, part of a broader effort to enhance border security. This physical barrier is complemented by increased military presence and advanced surveillance technology. And in July, Polish lawmakers voted in favor of a bill making it easier for security services to use weapons against migrants on the Belarus border. The Polish border guard reports that they have stopped nearly 100,000 illegal crossing attempts from Belarus since the start of the crisis, highlighting the scale of the challenge they face. To support these efforts, the government has implemented legislative changes, including new laws allowing for the immediate expulsion of migrants who cross the border illegally without examining their asylum applications. In 2022, Poland updated its Foreigners Act to enhance border security and limit access to social services for immigrants, reflecting a broader trend of tightening immigration policies. The impact of these measures on Poland's migration patterns has been significant. The physical barriers and increased security presence have altered established migratory routes, forcing would-be immigrants to seek alternative paths into the European Union, with neighboring countries experiencing changes in migration flows as a result of Poland's fortified borders. These measures have not been without controversy. Human rights organizations have criticized Poland's border policies, particularly the practice of pushbacks, which involve returning migrants to Belarus without allowing them to apply for asylum. Reports of violence and abuse have emerged, with one Human Rights Watch report stating migrants face serious abuses, including beatings by border guards. Despite these criticisms, the Polish government remains committed to its approach. Prime Minister Tusk has declared there will be no limit of funds when it comes to the security of Poland, emphasizing the government's dedication to border protection. This commitment is reflected in the ongoing enhancements to border security and the continued implementation of restrictive immigration policies. Hungary and Poland's uncompromising stance on immigration has placed them in direct opposition to the EU's policies, resulting in a series of legal and financial repercussions. The EU's new pact on migration and asylum, which introduces a system of mandatory solidarity, has become a focal point of this conflict. This pact requires member states to either accept relocated migrants or pay a fine of €20,000 for each migrant they refuse to take in, a proposal that has been met with vehement opposition from both Hungary and Poland.
Poland and Hungary was not satisfied with the proposal, but they pushed us through, pushed through the proposal. Because legally we are, we are raped. So if you are raped legally, forced to accept something what you don't like, how would you like to have a compromise and agreement? It's impossible. So after this, there is no any chance to have any kind of compromise and agreement on migration. Politically, it's impossible.
Hungary's refusal to comply with EU asylum regulations has resulted in severe financial penalties. The country has been fined €200 million for breaching EU asylum laws and failing to adhere to previous court rulings regarding the treatment of migrants. Moreover, Hungary faces an additional penalty of €1 million per day until it aligns its policies with EU regulations. These fines reflect the EU's determination to enforce its asylum policy policies across all member states, regardless of individual nations' objections. The Hungarian Prime Minister, Viktor Orbán, has responded to these penalties with defiance. Orbán described the EU's fines as outrageous and unacceptable, arguing that illegal migrants are more important to the Brussels bureaucrats than their own European citizens. Hungarian officials have also stated that if Brussels wants illegal migrants, then Brussels can have them, indicating a willingness to send intercepted migrants directly to EU institutions if forced to comply with relocation mandates. Poland has adopted a similarly uncompromising position. Prime Minister Donald Tusk has publicly declared that Poland will not accept any migrants under the EU's relocation scheme, characterizing it as a forced mechanism. This stance aligns closely with Hungary's position, creating a united front against the EU's migration policies. The ongoing clash between Hungary and Poland's immigration policies and the European Union's stance has far-reaching implications that extend beyond the immediate crisis. Hungary and Poland's refusal to comply with EU migration policies challenges the foundational principles of the Union, particularly the concept of shared responsibility, and has exposed deep-seated divisions within the Union. These disagreements extend beyond immigration, touching on fundamental questions of national identity, cultural preservation, and the extent of EU authority over member states' domestic policies. As this conflict persists, there is a growing risk of a domino effect. Other EU members, particularly those with similar concerns about immigration or sovereignty, may be emboldened to adopt more hardline stances against EU policies. This could lead to a fragmentation of the Union's unified approach to various issues, not just immigration. The future scenarios for resolution or further conflict remain uncertain. One possibility is that the EU will be forced to reassess its approach to migration, potentially leading to a more flexible policy that allows for greater national discretion. Alternatively, the EU might double down on its current stance, potentially leading to further sanctions or even discussions about the future membership status of non-compliant states. If you want to learn more about global economic affairs, head on over to this video where I show you just that. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.